Quick announcement before we get started. Our landlord has decided to not renew the lease, so we're selling a bunch of manga and magic cards over on eBay. Link down below to help support my family and get us into a new place. Prices are reasonable, unless you want to be generous, of course. Or you could join my Patreon. Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought by all of you, my lovely viewers and subscribers. When I first started making Commander content, the videos weren't doing very well. It was something new for Cute Stuff and I, and we struggled to find a way that worked for us and was a pleasant viewing experience for you. I had even made the decision to quit altogether. But then, someone commented on my video that they loved my deck so much that they were going to buy it. And that changed everything. So now, as we close in on 10,000 subscribers, I give you my 500th Commander video, led by none other than my favorite commander, Kaalia of the Vast. Also, if you're not already, please like and subscribe. Thank you in advance. Kaalia of the Vast is a 4-mana 2/2 legendary human cleric with flying. Whenever she attacks, we may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature card from our hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that same opponent. Other than dinosaurs and Eldrazi, demons, dragons, and angels are the largest creatures in Magic. They're also widely represented, especially in these colors. For the most part, we want to focus on creatures that have damage triggers rather than attack triggers, because the creatures will be put onto the battlefield already attacking, which skips their trigger. There will be a few exceptions, of course, because some cards are just too good. Now, this will not be a budget list, but I only have 2 cards in the deck that are over $50 in value. Most of the rest are $20 or under, but there are a few $30 cards. Overall, the deck came in at just over $900. We do want some of the best creatures in Magic after all. But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard is always innovating, and recently they've unveiled their new Druidic Secrets boulders. Turn your deck box into a mystical place. These gorgeous boulders come in a variety of colors and patterns, like this lavender-colored one, celebrating the movements of the planets. Study the future so you can be prepared with the new Druidic Secrets boulder. Pick one up today at your local game store, or order one from Amazon. Link down below. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm going to be streaming on Musings by Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to come in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are spent talking about manga, anime, or Commander. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Arid Mesa, Marsh Flats, Bloodstained Mire, Scalding Tarn, Flooded Strand, Verdant Catacombs, Savai Triome, Sacred Foundry, Godless Shrine, Blood Crypt, Spectator Seating, Vault of Champions, Luxury Suite, Sundown Pass, Shattered Sanctum, Haunted Ridge, Clifftop Retreat, Isolated Chapel, Dragonskull Summit, Elegant Parlor, Shadowy Backstreet, Raucous Theater, Bajuka Bog, 4 Plains, 3 Swamps, and 3 mountains make up the land base for our deck. Pretty straightforward here. Ancient Copper Dragon, Dockside Extortionist, Smothering Tithe, Black Market Connections, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Conviction, Talisman of Hierarchy, Talisman of Indulgence, Boros Signet, Orzhov Signet, Rakdos Signet, and Felwar Stone help us to ramp out and stay ahead of the curve. I could have tossed in a Mana Crypt, but the deck was already way high on budget. Dragon Mage, Runescarred Demon, Villas Broker of Blood, Ancient Brass Dragon, Razaketh the Foul-Blooded, Wheel of Misfortune, Phyrexian Arena, Reanimate, Animate Dead, Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Jeska's Will, and Siphon Mind help us to dig through our deck and find answers. Believe it or not, Dragon Mage is usually one of the first creatures I tutor for. More on that later. Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Abrade, Bedevil, Angel of Despair, Anguished Unmaking, Deflecting Swat, and Fracture help us to keep our opponents in line. Final Showdown, Balefire Dragon, Armageddon, Damn, and Farewell. I know people are going to complain about Armageddon, but in a Kaalia deck, mass land destruction is a win condition. If Kaalia is on board and we just have a few big smashy creatures, we'll probably win before they can recover. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight, Avacyn, Angel of Hope, Rakdos, Patron of Chaos, Aurelia, the War Leader, Master of Cruelties, Laisa, Forgotten Archangel, Rhea, Dawnbringer, Ancient Gold Dragon, Sarah's Emissary, Lord of the Void, Bloodletter of Aclazotz, Hellkite Tyrant, Terror of the Peaks, Archfiend of Depravity, Archfiend of Despair, Bruna the Fading Light, and Gisela the Broken Blade. I rarely get to merge these two, but when I do, it's usually game over. Supporting our plan, we've also got Lava Spurt Boots, Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves, Mother of Runes, Rule of Law, High Noon, Boros Charm, and Teferi's Protection. Now that we have our deck list, we can compare it to our checklist. 49 mana sources split between 35 lands and 14 pieces of ramp. 13 pieces of card advantage. 8 pieces of interaction. 5 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Farewell and Bojuka Bog. 1 sudden I win card in Armageddon. The main reason people hate mass land destruction is the same reason they hate excessive board wipes. When played incorrectly, all they do is stall the game out. But with Kaalia on board, we can slam a big creature for free every time we attack. This means games close out quickly. Now, Kaalia is capable of rebuilding a board very quickly, so running a few extra board wipes as opposed to spot removal is fine. That being said, you need to draw a ton of cards to make this deck function. In fact, we need to churn through our deck at a frightening pace, much faster than you'd think, which is why Dragon Mage is the card I usually tutor for first. The best openings I have with a Kaalia deck consist of casting Kaalia as quickly as possible, putting a pair of boots on her, slamming Dragon Mage, and refilling my hand. That's why we're running so many cheap mana rocks as well. Chances are you will empty your hand by turn 3 or 4 with this deck, so refilling it with wheels is your best bet. I'm sure you also noticed that I have a few stacks effects in the deck. Cards like Rule of Law or High Noon shut down Spellslinger decks completely. Once we get to a certain point in the game, we don't need to cast very many spells. We just use Kaalia to put our creatures directly onto the battlefield and beat our opponents to death. But we also want to keep Kaalia alive, which is why we're running Mother of Runes as well as many boots as possible. Sure, we can just recast Kaalia, but I'd much rather keep her around, much to the chagrin of our opponents. Do you have a Kaalia deck? What's your secret deck tech? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made, or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Sean, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Midge, Alex, Alex, Conga, Aaron, Chris, Robert, Michael, Skinwalker, Sidewinder, Austin, William, Dan, Pie, Dead Segway, Turner, and Triz. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.